About 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio. This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good morning. Welcome to this morning's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. The PPPC government has since transferred over $40 billion in oil earnings from the Natural Resource Fund to the Consolidated Fund so that it can support several projects outlined in the 2022 budget. As a result of the oil money being lumped with revenues from other sectors, there is no way of tracing which projects it is going to. International energy analyst Arthur Deakin is of the belief that such an approach is not in keeping with best practices. He believes Guyanese ought to know exactly what projects their oil money is being spent on in the interest of transparency and accountability. The analyst, who has vast insight into the energy sector, particularly in the Americas, advised that Guyana should consider increased oversight mechanisms so that it safeguards all opportunities for proper development through its oil wealth. Meanwhile, as regional leaders pursue a robust plan to ensure food security by cutting down their respective food import bill by 25% over the next 3 years, most, if not all of them, agree that there must be a removal of illegal trade barriers between members of CARICOM. This joint position was echoed on Thursday by at least 3 heads of government as the 3-day inaugural Regional Agri-Investment Forum was launched at the National Cultural Center in Georgetown under the theme Investing in Vision 25 by 2025. Locally, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry have been bitterly complaining of the trade barriers implemented by Trinidad and Tobago, particularly. In fact, just before the launch of the Agri-Investment Forum, the private sector body issued a statement to the press in which it advised government to not sign any agreements with the Twin Island until it removes the non-tariff embargo that is preventing Guyanese businesses from exporting produce to that country. And moving on, Guyana has been producing oil since December of 2019, and during the course of the time, there has been a significant decline in the domestic fishing industry, purportedly as a result of the drilling production operations by the international oil companies properly operating offshore. Against this backdrop, the government on Wednesday last signed off on a raft of new regulations to be enforced under the Fisheries Act that cater for, in addition to protocols for the handling and processing of local catch, the importation of fish and fish products. The regulations signed on Wednesday last by Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa speaks to the approval of vessels and processing facilities, conditions to be met before fish can be placed on the local market, and importation, among other aspects. As it relates to the importation of fish, the regulation speaks specifically to the conditions to be met by an importer, notifications, offshore inspections, as well as foreign government inspections. And moving on, foreign ministers of CARICOM met virtually on Wednesday last for the 25th meeting of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations, where, among other things, there was a clarion call for small states to rely more than ever on focused, organized, and coordinated diplomacy. This is in addition to the need for bolstering relations with like-minded states and continuing to advocate and ensure that the region's interests are protected and promoted. The plea was made by CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carlo Barnett during the opening session and was grounded in the internal agenda for the remainder of the year, namely the several multilateral engagements for which the community must prepare itself for. And to wrap things up, let's tell you that GCOM is mulling the use of biometrics, such as fingerprints and retina identification at the polling booths in future general and regional elections, a move that has since found support with at least one faction of the political opposition, the AFC. The party in a public missive yesterday said it has taken note of the information in the public space that the PPP appointed commissioners on GCOM are optimistic that biometrics could be added to Guyana's election day process to eliminate the possibility of impersonation. As such, it was noted that undoubtedly using biometrics such as fingerprint and retina identification at the polling booth will deter culprits who have a penchant for corrupting the system through illegal activities. And that brings us to the end of this morning's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speed Test, recognizes Digicel as the network with the best mobile coverage